New, simple, and easy to build shulker box loaders and unloaders for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. You can use these compact little builds in dozens of different ways for your bases, your storage systems, farms, auto crafting, you name it. Shulker box tech is really useful. And keep in mind that you can farm shulkers in Minecraft, so you don't need to worry about raiding a bunch of end cities. A shulker farm is really easy to put together. So here is the tiny little shulker box loader that I'll be showing you how to build. As you can see, this is a microscopic build. It's really simple. We just load in the shulkers on the back here. We put in the items that we want to fill the shulkers with, and then at the bottom we get some shulkers completely filled of those items. Now with this one, you could actually open up the shulker as it's being loaded, so you could take some items out if you want, and then once it's completely full, it gets broken and put into your chest. A nice thing about the shulker loader is that it comes with an optional item filter built onto the side of it. That way you can take items directly out of an item stream and put them straight into your shulker boxes. And if you want to, you can even double speed load up your shulker boxes by having an item input on the left and on the front as well. I also have a shulker box unloader design that I'll be showing you how to build. So you put all the shulkers full of junk that you want to empty at the top up there. You press the button, they get dispensed at the bottom here and drained out. All the items get sorted out and sent off to your storage system or whatever, and then your empty shulker boxes go into the chest over here. And by the way, neither of these designs will ever lose a shulker box, and both of them are chunk border proof, so you can build them anywhere that you want in your Minecraft world. You don't need to worry about chunk borders or weirdness or shulker boxes flying out of the system or being lost. There's a lot of ways to use shulker loaders. This tiny one is great for farms where you want to store a lot of items and then take them with you later, like mob farms, iron farms, and anything that produces a lot of items. You can easily pair this with an auto crafter to compact down iron into iron blocks and then automatically store that iron in shulkers, for example, or really any other farm where you can use auto crafting, like with bones into bone blocks or melon slices into melons. The possibilities are endless. Shulker unloaders are mostly used to dump off project shulkers and have the items empty out into your storage system and get automatically sorted for you. They aren't as common since they're usually pretty slow, but they're useful if you don't want to manually empty out your shulker boxes. So on their own, shulker loaders and unloaders aren't super useful, but down below I'll have links to item filters, auto crafting, and shulker farm tutorials. That way you can build those and build a cohesive system that works together automatically for you. So check out those videos, and if you like Bedrock tutorials, then consider dropping a like and subscribing. I have many more tutorials on the way. Huge thank you to Daniel from the Amalix Foundation for sending in the shulker box loader design. Much appreciated. These are all the materials that you need to build this. The top row is just the basic loader itself, and if you want the item filter, then you also need this bottom row of materials. The build area for this is going to be 4 blocks wide, 2 blocks deep. It's going to be a block underground, and it's also going to be 3 blocks above ground. And if you want the item filter, that's just an additional 2 blocks off to the side. We're going to start by putting in a double chest in the ground right here and a hopper behind it. This is going to be for storing your full shulkers. You need a mud block above that, and by the way, to make mud, you just click on a piece of dirt with a bottle of water. Bam, super easy. So now we're going to place in a dispenser behind this piece of mud, and then we need a regular piston facing downwards above it like so. Place in yourself a comparator right here on the right side, and now we need a couple of solid blocks, one right there, one in front of the comparator, and one right next to that piston. Now go ahead and get yourself a piece of redstone dust here and here. We need a lever on the side of this bottom block to power that redstone. That way this comparator only turns on when your shulker is full of items. We need a redstone torch right here in order to activate the dispenser and shoot out another shulker. So now go to the front of the build. We're going to place in a temporary block right here and place in 2 hoppers, one into the dispenser and one facing into the space right here. You can put a chest on the back side right here for your empty shulker boxes, and then another chest on the front side here for the items that you want to go into your shulkers. And of course, you can use like hopper lines or whatever you want to supply these 2 things. And now we're also going to place a button on the front. This is going to actually dispense the empty shulker box once you are ready to go for loading it. So using this thing is really easy. You just stock up the back one of your empty shulkers. You stock up the front here with the items that you want to go in there. And then if there's not a shulker box out, you can press the button and that will dispense one. You can open this thing up at any point in time whenever you want to actually see the contents of it. You can take items out of it or put items into it whenever you want, and you can also break the box at any time and it will go down into your lower chest. Now you can also double speed load this thing as well. So we're just going to place in a temporary block in there, hopper facing it, and then another input chest or whatever. And this will double speed load your shulker box in case you have a lot of items and you really want to compact them into shulkers fast. Of course, when there is a hopper on the front of this, you will not be able to open up your shulker, so you sacrifice a little bit. And now if you want to put the item filter onto the side of this build, you're simply going to remove these two chests right here, remove that hopper. The input for your empty shulkers is going to be going on the back of the build, and now we're going to have another hopper facing into the side of that piston right there. We're going to place in a piece of glass, solid block there, a piece of glass here and here for this general shape, and then a solid block here. We're also going to need ourselves in a composter in this location, just like so. So we need a comparator at the top right here, 2 pieces of redstone dust going down, and then a comparator facing into this bottom hopper. Make sure this bottom one is on subtract mode, so that little torch needs to be on. And then we also need 1 layer inside of this composter right here. To configure the top hopper, we're simply going to put in 4 filler items. So these are normally renamed just junk items that are not going to be coming through your system, just to fill up those slots. And then on the front of this, you can put in yourself 18 items, and that will act as the item filter. So the hopper line that you sort from would be going above the system just like this. And then whenever you have items come through here, they're going to be getting filtered down, and then you should have yourself a shulker box out whenever this thing is filtering items. Now, when you're building the system, make sure that you take all the items out of the bottom hopper, otherwise they'll just end up stuck there kind of forever. And let's hop into the tutorial for the shulker box unloader. Once again, thank you to Daniel from the Hamlex Foundation for this design. So the materials that you're going to need is everything in this chest right here. Now, you'll either need a powdered snow or a water bucket and a stair. So the build area for this is going to be 4 blocks wide, 2 blocks deep. It's going to be a block underground for your chest, and then 3 blocks above ground as per usual. So we're going to start off with our 2 chests down below here. The one on the left is going to be the output of your empty shulkers, and then this one is going to be all of your junk items that you're unloading. Now, you could also send your junk items off to the side over here just using a hopper line, whatever works for you. Either way, we're going to start with 2 hoppers going downwards right here. We need a temporary block right here with a piston facing to the left on it right there. We need a solid block right here with a comparator going into it like so. On the back side of that, we're going to have a redstone torch with a dispenser facing to the side right here. And now we need a temporary block on the front of that. We're going to have to go downwards by a block just to place an observer facing upwards right here like so. So remove your temporary block, put in an observer facing that one right there. And now we need a solid block behind this and a redstone torch right above that piston. Now we're going to place a dispenser facing downwards off the side of that torch. Again, it might be a little bit tricky to place that in there. You can place a solid block right here with a button on it. That way it's more easily visible to actually dispense your shulkers to unload them. Or if you want your hopper line to go to the side like this to actually put items into your storage system or whatever, you can simply have the button on the side of the piston right there. Either way, we're going to go to the back side of the build over here. We're going to have in a couple pieces of redstone dust right underneath this torch, and that's going to be going into a solid block, and that should be locking the hopper on the front there. Now put a powdered snow bucket into this upper dispenser right here, and if you don't have powdered snow, then what we're going to do is place in a solid block here, and a solid block right there, and then a stair and a water bucket inside of this dispenser. That way it can actually work the same as a piece of powdered snow. And the final thing to do is to actually put a hopper facing into this dispenser. So that could be on the top, that could be on the front, it could be on the back. You can have it wherever you want. And that's going to be where you're putting in your junk shulkers that have stuff in them. And then whenever you're ready to start unloading, just press the button that is going to dispense one. It is going to get drained out. All the items will go into there. The hopper is going to get locked as the shulker is broken. And the empty shulkers will be going into your left chest over here. And that's it for this super simple tutorial. Thank you again to Daniel for the designs, and thank you for watching. If you like this tutorial and want to see more of them in the future, then make sure you are subscribed, and I'll see you guys down in the comments and in the next one.